YouTubers, friends, enemies, countrymen, Romans, Gauls, and Celts. It's I I watched this video this morning, and there's just so much here that I need to talk about that I decided I'm going to just respond to it. And it's about ayahuasca, so I'm using my ayahuasca ceremony clown outfit because we ayahuasca Nephilim invocators are all clowns, right? And I've been watching End Times Productions for a long time. Roberto, no, no, todavía no, falta. Voy a hacer esto en inglés, Roberto. Anyways, I want to respond to this video because I'm getting a lot of fear porn about ayahuasca and clowns and elves, and we got to nip it at the bud. All right, there's a new inquisition going on here, and these are the inquisitors. And I don't know what you guys know about the history of the Inquisition, but it's not a pretty thing. It's a fucked up, nasty beat down of guys like myself and a whole other bunch of folks out there that dress as the clown, and they go out there and they go into the spirit realm to enter into spiritual battle, not to hurt or harm or cause havoc, but to help and to heal and to bring anything good that can be brought from the spirit realm to the current realm. So let's listen to this guy and what he's got to say. And I'm going to pause him now and then, and I'm going to give my response to what he's saying. And I'm going to do it very calmly, very gentle, but I am passionate about this subject, and I think this guy needs to listen to this video that I'm making. Because enough is enough. All right? We're trying to help people in very difficult spiritual times. There is a huge spiritual warfare out there going on. Yes, there's a spiritual warfare. There's a war for your souls. Whether you want to see it or you don't want to see it, there's a war for your souls. And ayahuasca, DMT, mescaline, psilocybin are the medicine that we need right now in this moment in history to get over the hump and get over the darkness in our souls. And guys like this would burn us if they could. All right, so let's listen to what he's got to say. And again, End Times Productions is one of my favorite channels. I watch it all the time. It's a channel that I respect a lot. I agree with almost everything they have to say. Most of the time that I listen to End Times Productions, I'm like, yeah, you're right about that, man. But then they put on something like this, and I go, whoa. Let's take a look.
Venomous snake coiled around the handle of the sink, coiled around it in a striking position. Somebody put that snake there. He said, Tim, I want you to know that all this stuff going on that you're experiencing here, the snake and these venomous insects, this is the shamans. This is Timothy Albrino, and you are watching End Times Productions.
All right, Timothy. You don't know this. You do not know that the snake came because of the shamans. Maybe they came because God, Malkantanka, or the Great Spirit, or whatever you want to call it, the Holy Spirit, got fed up of your bullshit.
About 20 years ago, I was living in Tarapoto, Peru, and working with different churches in Tarapoto. And so we had groups that would come during the week, a couple times a week, and we would do these really intense prayer meetings.
So you were out there trying to convince the people that their ancestor worship and their all ancient traditions are pagan and evil.
And right next to the Actual, this facility I was renting, is a detox center called Takiwasi. Very popular detox center, kind of famous. The owners, I believe, at the time were French. People would come from all over the world, and the idea was they would use shamanism and ayahuasca to detox people from different drug addictions. And so
I've worked with various groups of people that have worked with ayahuasca to combat addiction. Well, they do good work. Josue Perez Rios, Timmy Ordonez, two different groups, and to a certain extent, Kenji Alcocer from Ave Phoenix. All of them have respect and love for the message of Jesus Christ. And specifically, Josue Perez Rios, during his ayahuasca ceremonies, uses Jesus as one of his things. I actually didn't like that. I felt kind of objective to the fact that, it's older than Jesus. The tradition of the ayahuasca is older than Jesus, but let's keep going.
you would have a lot of foreigners coming in, and then they would work with shamans. And down the road from us, so we had Takiwasi right next door, and then down the road from us was another shamanic center, like a shamanic retreat. And our neighbors were shamans. Most of them were shamans. This is like the center for shamanism in the city of Tarapoto, the jungle city of Tarapoto. Some of my acquaintances in Tarapoto were shamans, and so I was very well known among that community. One day, I was approached. I had a gate in this facility, the Actual, and one day in the morning, I had a group of shamans knocking on my gate. I invited them in, and we sat down. They're very cordial, very nice guys. They were from Takiwasi. They politely asked me if we could conduct our prayer meetings on a different day. I believe it was a Thursday, one of the prayer meetings. We were doing them, I think, twice a week, like a Thursday evening and maybe a Tuesday evening. And I asked them why. What was the reason why they wanted me to change the day of our prayer meeting, the evening? I assumed it was because we made a lot of noise, played music and drums and stuff like that. But that wasn't the reason. What he told me was, he said, the problem is that when you guys are praying, what we do at Takiwasi as shamans doesn't work. Like it affects the atmosphere, and it interferes with, let's call it, our magic. And that's not the word he used exactly, but I can't remember the exact phraseology.
You can't remember the exact phraseology. So here comes some powerful healers to politely, respectfully ask uh, somebody to please do their ceremonies, their magic, because it's, magic. Magic is magic, right? To do their ceremonies at a different time because it affects the result. Magic is powerful. Prayers are powerful. And this guy's doing one type of prayers and they're doing a different type of prayer. Okay? Let's listen to what he does. But before that, I want you guys to see my sunset because I have this amazing sunset right now. And it's just an amazingly beautiful color. Doesn't really see the color, the camera doesn't really capture the colors in the actual beauty of it, but that's just the camera. But it's very
But
beautiful though.
it was, the idea was whatever you're doing is interfering with what we're
But
doing,
yeah,
spiritually speaking, something along those lines. And I was quite amazed at how candid these guys were with me. They were very, very cordial, very kind. Um, it was not an aggressive encounter. There was no animosity. They were just asking me, please, can you change your prayer meeting to a different night so that we can operate? And they're literally right next door. And we would sometimes hear these blood curdling screams coming from the Takiwasi Center.
any of you who have done ayahuasca ceremonies know that sometimes people have to deal with their inner demons. They have to face their demons. It's not an experience that is very pleasant. It can be a very heart wrenching, difficult experience, but it's a healing experience. The point of this is you go there to be healed of those demons that are, causing you all this damage and stress. So of course you're going to hear some screaming. And don't you think if somebody's praying, to Christ to take the demons out or whatever, it's going to have an effect on that type of energy as well? Of course it is. It's called respect. You respect the other person's prayer. You respect the other person's religion. You respect the other person. You respect. You respect. You respect. And this guy does not know respect.
And we would hear sometimes their ceremonies, typical ayahuasca ceremonies they would do. I wasn't going to rearrange our schedule for our prayer meetings because it was interfering with the shamanism that was happening next door. So I politely declined, and there was no animosity. However, some weeks later, perhaps a couple months later, I woke up one morning. I'm trying to remember if it was a morning or an evening, but one day I had a mob with machetes and sticks at my gate, and they were demanding that I turn over one of the young guys that was staying with us. I was doing like some discipleship with some young guys, and they were demanding I turn him over and that I shut down our prayer meetings. They were going to hang him.
So here's this foreigner that is sheltering a criminal. We don't know what the guy did, but if he had a mob looking after him, he couldn't have done something very nice. Now, I live in Mexico. Down here, it's called ajuste de cuentas. You go rape a kid, you're going to get yourself hanged up by some tree or something. You're going to get your balls eaten by a dog. You steal a house, you're going to get your hands chopped off. It's just the way they work out here. All right? Is there fear? Yeah, there's fear. But if you do nothing wrong, if you don't hurt anybody, if you don't do anything bad, you have nothing to fear, do you? Could they accuse a wrong person? Sure. It's happened all the time. The law of the jungle is, but they're not going to go after some guy that is, presumably innocent. This guy must have had something that he was hiding. And this foreigner, this guy that doesn't know the culture, doesn't know the language, doesn't know the customs, comes in and tells them how to live their lives. Because his way is superior. So bombing people in Gaza and paying taxes so you can bomb people in Gaza is superior to getting some guy hanged from a tree because he raped a little girl or something? We don't know. Let's listen.
We're going to take him and hang him from the bridge. They were accusing him of something. I don't remember what.
I don't remember what. Whoa, hold on. Hold your horses there, fella. Now, let's just think for a second. Big crowd comes to your house with machetes and shovels and axes, torches. And they want to get some guy out of your house to hang him under a bridge. And you don't remember what he's getting accused of? Really? Tell me more. I want to hear more.
And in Peru, you have what's called ronderos. They're basically citizen police. It's they take justice into their own hands, and it's not uncommon for them to hang people. Previous to this occasion, they had hung a young man from the bridge. It's not uncommon for them to do this in Peru, and at that time at least. So I wasn't about to hand over this guy into this mob justice. I don't know if what they were claiming was.
So let's put it in a different way. Let's say that I am the shaman and I'm going to move into some Catholic vecindad in some city in, I don't know, Alabama. Okay, there's no Catholics in Alabama. Forget about the Catholics. Protestant or evangelical vecindad somewhere in South Carolina. Right? And suddenly the police come to some guy's house, hey, we're looking for Timmy. He's selling drugs. Am I going to hide Timmy? That would probably mean that I'm working for him. That would probably mean that I'm, part of his crew. Right? Meow. Meow. There's my crew. Meow. Where the frick? It's a white cat. Let's see. Could be Ramira. Let's go take a look. Sorry, guy, I gotta pause. I got a crying cat situation that is obviously more important. Meow. Yeah, it's the white cat. Meow, 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 meow. No, yes, go out of there. There's a white cat and comes here and cries for Ramira for some reason. I don't know exactly why he does that, but when I try to bring the cat in or give him some whiskas or something, he flees. He escapes. Anyways, sorry for the interruption, but we deal with feline situations right away in this house because I have a lot of felines. I am the stereotypical cat lady with a beard, but I'm not a lady. I'm a dude. All right, let's continue this amazing conversation with this. I'm actually kind of even sad to have to do this. It's like I gotta set this dude straight, man. Because I like the channel. I like what they're talking about. I like a lot of the stuff they
It's
say.
true,
But man, this
but that
really
wasn't
got
for
me
me to
off.
determine, or the mob.
This really pissed me.
If
He
they had a
pissed me
complaint
off.
like that, then they need to go get the police involved. So, in
Okay.
fact, I got the.
Whoa. Get the police involved in the third world, man. Local police, federal police, and who knows who they're really working for. All right? So, there's laws in Brazil. Of course, there's laws in Brazil. There's laws in Peru. I think it's Peru. Sorry, Peru, right? There's laws in Peru. Yeah, this was laws in Peru. But you respect the community, man. In Puebla, they had a couple of undercover cops who were trying to catch some kidnappers. And they went undercover pretending to be kitty snatchers. And the people in Puebla got them and they lynched them. And they were wrong about it because they were undercover cops trying to get some, kidnappers. But they didn't know they were undercover cops. To them, they were just some very suspicious dudes, taking photographs of children. So it was conceivable that if you have a neighborhood at watch and they grab a couple of guys, taking photographs of children in their pajamas, you may want to, do something about it. So this guy doesn't know what's going on. He's got some kid hiding in his church for who knows what crime. And he's going up against an armed group of people saying to him, dude, this is a bad dude right here and you're hiding in your house. I don't know. There's a part of me that actually would have protected the kid because I don't like lynchings. I'm certainly opposed to lynchings. But there's something very strange about you going to a totally different country, defending some kid being accused of God knows what, and let's go on and
The
keep
police
watching
involved.
this.
I called the police, the Peruvian police, and said, hey, I got a mob at my gate. They're trying to break in. And the police eventually came and dispersed the mob. And this young man, he basically fled. And ultimately, after that event, we were getting all kinds of threats. In fact, very strange things were beginning to happen at the Actual, the place I was renting. For example, I was finding routinely venomous creatures in my room. I was staying in one of the rooms, a small room, and I had my wife and my newborn son. And I was routinely finding large tarantulas all over my door.
Which he, of course, killed because he didn't know how to take them out without having to kill them, of course.
And venomous insects such as bullet ants. I remember one day I was laying in bed, just laying there watching TV, and my son was next to me. And I looked over, and he's a baby laying on the thing. And there was a bullet ant crawling around, I don't remember if it was on him, but it was crawling around on our bed sheets. A bullet ant. Now, if a bullet ant were to sting my son, my infant, he could very well have died. It would have been very, very bad. Bullet ants can kill dogs and infants. Very, very large ants. And, if they sting you or me, it just is going to hurt like hell for a couple days. You're going to cry, probably. It's very bad pain. So, but to an infant, it can be fatal. And And that was uncommon. That was the first time I ever found a bullet ant in my room. This is around the same time I'm finding tarantulas all over my doors. All of my, like I would, in the evening, I'd go to bed. I would come back from being out on the town and approach my room, and I would see big black tarantulas on my door, as if someone put it there. And then one morning, right in the same time frame, same few days this was going on, my wife woke up one morning, and we had a concrete sink in the facility, not in my room, but in the facility. And she would wash clothes in the morning. So one morning she got up to wash clothes. She went to turn the water on the sink, the handle, and there was a venomous snake coiled around the handle of the sink, coiled around it in a striking position. She almost reached to turn the water on and screamed. Now, snakes do not wrap themselves around a cold water handle in the morning. They're out sunning. They're cold-blooded, so they have to go and sun and warm up in the morning. Somebody put that snake there. My caretaker over the facility, his name is Guillermo.
Okay, somebody put the snake there. Yes, it's possible. It's within the realm of possibility. All right? I won't deny the possibility that a snake was placed in this guy's thing to spook him or to, get him out of there. Because by this time he's made enough enemies out of the people in the town that they're probably going to want to get him out of there. So, yeah, it's possible, But what if it isn't? What about the frickin' shadow of a doubt? What is it? The Beyond a Shadow of a Doubt? Habeas corpus. What about the possibility that this is just a snake that crawled in there in the sink and was trying to get him out of there? He was trying to figure out a way to get out. So it was all cold, and it was a cold morning, and the snake wanted to get out, and here comes this woman and scares the snake. So of course the snake's going to get upset. But it's this kind of like fear and paranoia of the other, that is just the spirit realm is about overcoming fear. It's about getting over fear of the other. There are dark things out there. Of course there's dark things out there. My God, I've seen enough dark spirits in my time to tell you some stories. But to demonize a whole town because you don't respect their work and you want to bring in your religion and your ideas and your concepts and shove it to them like some frickin' conquistador in the year 2023, when their work is working and yours isn't, when you're sheltering people that they certainly perceive to be criminals, and then you let those people go. You don't even have that person arrested. No, you let him go. Dude, get yourself over yourself. Get it straight, man. I was not there. I don't know what happened. But based on your account of the facts, I have an opinion, and I'm going to give it to you.
Guillermo, my wife screamed, and Guillermo came running and killed the snake. I wasn't there.
Killed the snake. Didn't even try to get it out
during
there.
That episode.
And
Guillermo wanted to talk to me.
What if it was a snake in extinction?
I want you to know that all this stuff going on that you're experiencing here, the snake, these venomous insects, this is the shamans. So this was sort of retaliation. Now, they were very cordial with me. But then, I forget, it was with it.
This was the shamans. Those the black magic snakes, man. Oh, God. your fear porn is just so fucking delicious. I can just chop it to pieces with just common fucking sense. Bad shaman sent this evil snake to bite my wife, and an evil ant to bite my child. Come off it. Get over it.
In a short period of time, that all those people were at my gate, right? And then I was finding the venomous insects and the snake and so forth. It became apparent that we were not going to be able to live in peace. We ultimately decided to move, but
Maybe
that
this karma,
was,
brother.
It was a very sketchy situation for a while, and this shamanic community did not take kindly. But apparently, our prayer meetings were interfering on some level with their, let's say, on a spiritual level with whatever activity was going on at Takiwasi, and they were very upset by that. So again, the shamanic community was very cordial with me until they weren't, and it was never a direct confrontation like shamans directly confronting me. It was sort of this underhanded subterfuge. So obviously we were disrupting.
Underhanded subterfuge. Okay, let's review the facts, shall we? You go into a heavily shamanic is the word? Heavily shamanic town. A town that has their brujos working for them full tilt boogie. And you stamp your big cross right there across their faces. Come to our church for salvation. These are bad brujos and they will lose your soul to hell. And they come and they say, dude, don't do that. At least not when we're trying to have a ceremony here next door. Please try to be kind. Please have some common decency. And oh, great Christian crusader, paladin of Christ, decides to go to holy war with these cats. Why? Why does he decide to do all this? For the sake of some guy, some criminal in his house that the townspeople are fed up of? For the sake of his superior sense of law and justice, telling a whole town how to behave? For his spiritual battle against evil shamans. And these people are trying to help and cure and bring peace and order into their town for thousands of years. It's not what Christianity is about.
Say maybe perhaps the spiritual atmosphere in that neighborhood.
Oh, what happened here? Commercial. Of course there's a commercial. Hero Wars 666. Oh, 666. All right, let's see here. Bye-bye, 666. Come on, skip. Oh, Jesus. The frack, man. Now that's a spiritual battle right here in my computer. Ghost in the machine, Jesus. It's my mom's computer. It was given to her by and here's back the cat. Wants to play with Amita. What's going on here, man? Oh, good grief. fear porn about ayahuasca, man. I just can't take it. I can't take it. I cannot abide by such bullshit. I will fight back. I will not be colonized
I was
or
friends with a particular
inquisited.
shaman in Terapoto,
I will not be
acquaintances
prey
really,
to the Inquisition.
with this individual. He was a rather famous guy, he's a younger guy. And I asked him one day, I was with him, and I said, explain to me what the modus operandi of ayahuasca is. What you as a shaman, what is it that you are there to do? What are you facilitating? Because the shamans are doing something, they're facilitating something. You don't just go sit in a corner and drink the brew, it's a whole ceremony. And he explained it to me in great detail. He walked me through it. And he said that the shaman, the role of the shaman in the ceremony of ayahuasca is to invite the spiritual entities of the jungle to come and inhabit people, and communicate with people and inhabit them. That's what he told me. He said, that's the role of the shaman. We're inviting these spirits in to have contact, to communicate with the participants. And he said to me that, he said, we as shamans can sometimes see this happening. He said, for example, when I do an ayahuasca ceremony, everyone's in a circle, and I'm in the middle, and I'm summoning the spirits of the jungle. I'm summoning them to come. We're inviting them. We're asking them to come and to commune with us, to interact with us, to interface with us. And so we draw them in, and he said, I can see them sometimes. They come into the middle of the circle, and then they go from person to person, and they look in their eyes.
Jaguar, snake, owl, spider. There is so many different intelligent beings out there in the jungle, in the forest, in the woods, that are not human, but they have spirit. And their spirit is not against you. See, this is what drives me crazy about this. You go to the spirit realm to find allies, to find entities that are going to provide you with the strength you need to do the work. To do the work, to heal, to help, or to do battle. If you have to do battle, you're going to find an ally to help you do battle too. I'll make another video about the difference between the werewolf, the berserker, and the wendigo, because they're all related, aren't they? They all have a similar origin, and yes, they are very intimately related somehow, but a wendigo is not a berserker is not a werewolf is not a wendigo. They're all different, and they're similar. And a nahual is like none of these. And yet, a nahual is also the same, isn't he? He's calling upon the spirit of an animal to be able to become that animal. I mean, it's all in Don Juan. Don Juan expresses it very, very clearly. You become the animal to give you the strength to do the job, to do the work. And you do it in service of your people. In service of yourself as well. I'm not denying the fact that there is black magicians out there. There's a shitload of those. God, the Vatican is probably more full of black magicians than any other place on the planet Earth. That is the hub of the black magic in the planet right now. Has been for many years. Decades. Thousands of years. Right? Rome, Seven Hills. They wear scarlet. All right, but let's focus on this conversation, because I can go on a whole rabbit hole on that thing, and that's not the conversation right now. Let's go back to this guy.
And they go from person to person, and when they see whatever it is that they're looking for, they go into the person. That's exactly what he told me. He said they go into the person. And I asked him, I said, well, don't you think, what if it's something negative? Like, what if what you're inviting ends up destroying that person's life? And he said, well,
That's the job of the shaman. That's what they're called, teachers and healers and helpers. That's where they earn their money, their keep. You don't go to a shaman that is going to make your illness worse. You can go to a bruja to curse somebody for you. That you can do. People do it all the time out here. Shitload of brujas out here, and they be causing people's penises to fall off all the time. In fact, I know one or two that dedicate their entire energy to that. But that's not the work of the healer. The healer's work is to heal people. And this guy is discrediting. He's like, it's like, oh, you're doing spirit work. You got to be of the devil. Nah, man, you're doing spirit work too as well. By the way, when you're calling upon the Holy Spirit, you are doing spiritism, the biggest spirit of them all, supposedly. But you can also call upon the other spirits. Solomonics, all the rituals Solomonics, all the rituals of the Key of Solomon. That was the Catholic Church that started that shit, man. They got the grimoires of Solomon, and then of course our friends the Jews.
that's why we're there. We're curating the experience. We are there to make sure that only the good guys come and so forth, and
Bingo.
which is absurd, obviously, because you're dealing with consciousness. You're dealing with conscious beings that are much, as I said earlier, much older than you and much more intelligent than you. So there's no way that a shaman could ever control who's coming when you're making this invitation.
Oh, good grief! Your ignorance shows, Christian. Stop being such a fearmonger. You think that thousands of years of shamanism would would have survived if these guys were just doing black magic? No, they help their people. They go out there to help the people. They are there to help the people. They are there to heal the people. There are black magicians. I agree. There are black magicians. Of course, there's black magicians, but not all of them are black magicians. Huh? Let's keep going.
You're beckoning these spirits, and if you think that you can control what you are
You don't
summoning,
control.
then
There's that word again. Control. 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 You're a shaman. You're not going to control the spirits, brother. You're going to ask him, beg him. You're going to try to coax them to be good to you. You're not going to ask. You're not going to. Solomonics tries to control demons. That's what they do. The whole thing with the Solomonic ritual is about controlling demons. And that is not shamanism. That is Solomonic magic. Totally different animal. Totally different thing. Forgot my little ring here of Nishim Hadev. I took it off to garden because it fell off. I made it larger so that I could take it off. And one of the bad things of taking it off the ring is that if you can take it off, it can also fall off when you're doing work in the garden with the weeds. So, anyways, sorry, I'm multitasking here. Let's keep going with this guy.
Full. And this is, of course, the occult, and this is witchcraft, and this is what sorcerers have done for centuries, for millennia. The whole point of sorcery is to control demonic spirits.
No. The whole point of Solomonic sorcery, not shamanism. Do not confuse one type of medicine with a different type of medicine. You are putting it all under the same basket, and that is your mistake. That is why you're getting yourself thrown out of town. That is why you're being so irrespectful, and why I have to make this video. All right? Oh, witches and shamans and brujos and brujas, and they're all the same. No, they're not. No, they are not. Dude. Dude. Dude! Get your shit together. Fight for the good fight. Fight for the Holy Spirit. But get your shit together.
Control these entities. And that is what the occult is to some extent about, is harnessing and controlling. There's something very strange going on, but this idea that you can control these entities.
Control.
As I
You
said,
want to
very
control
dangerous
everybody.
because
That's your problem.
usually you can't. Usually it's them controlling you at that point. And
No,
I'll give
no,
you
no,
an
no, no, no,
example
no,
of how
no, 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 no. It's a win-win situation. Okay, you're calling upon a spirit to become your ally to help you. It's called helping, not controlling. Controlling Western medicine, Western ideas, Western concepts, wrong. It's not about control. You actually go into a shamanic trance to allow yourself to lose control, to realize that you're not in control. There's something bigger than you that is in control. And that thing that is bigger than you is the Holy Spirit, is God. There's a God. There's Wakantanka, the great spirit, the great powerful spirit of all men. Jesus. You want to call him Jesus? Call him Jesus. Let's call him, I don't care. The great spirit, the great Padre in the sky, who is also a Madre in some cultures. They're the same. The spirit realm is not about control. It's about letting go of the need to control. That's your concept. That's your fear. That's your loco, man. That's your bad. And you're throwing everybody on the same bus because you have never tried ayahuasca. And yet you're talking as if you're some expert.
dangerous this can be. I was with a pastor friend of mine named Benny Humphreys in Tarapoto, Peru one time, and he invited me to come with him to go see this woman, go visit this woman who was in a very pitiable state after visiting a shaman. She went, I believe that the story goes that she went to a shaman, what they'll often do in the jungle in Peru, Brazil, just all over the Amazon. It's common that if you've got a gripe with your neighbor or something like that, what you do is you obtain a piece of your neighbor's clothing, something that belongs to them, an object that belongs to them, you bring it to the shaman. And the shaman takes that object and they
To a dark shaman, to a brujo, please make a distinction.
they basically use it to put a curse on that person. But sometimes it backfires. So I believe in this particular case, this woman had gone to a shaman for that reason, or sometimes people often will go to a shaman to try and heal some sort of ailment. She went to the shaman and she was for all intents and purposes, she was fine. But shortly thereafter, her entire body locked up in a state of paralysis. She could not move. And we went and visited her, and it was pretty dire. I mean, it was bad. She was laying in bed, very emaciated, skeletal, obviously in great distress. She could not move. She was stiff as a board. And her family members said, this is what happened to me after I visited the shaman. Now, is that coincidental? Did she get stricken with some sort of illness, common illness? I don't know. I don't know. But this was the story, right? So again, I can't confirm or deny that was a result of the shamanism, but I've seen some pretty weird things as it pertains to shamanism.
God, these commercials on YouTube are just, they're the real damn demons. Ja, gut, dann lass mich in Ruhe. Ach, scheiße. Nochmal eins, das ist ein Zeug. Magie der Liebe, okay, wunderbar. Mir gefällt, aber jetzt, ich bin in andere Konversation. Pharmakeia, witchcraft, sorcery, magic. God, the Inquisition. I hate the Inquisition.
Pharmakeia
I shouldn't
is
hate
likely
anybody, but the Inquisition.
referencing mind-altering psychedelics that come from plants. Ayahuasca in particular comes primarily from a vine. However, they make a brew using other ingredients. It's a very detailed process. The ingredients, the mixture, the brew, it's very complex, and it only works if you get it right. It's a mystery how the people in the jungle were able to concoct this brew.
No, it's not. No, it's not. And he's actually going to say why it's not. But I wanted to make clear that it's not a mystery. The spirit of ayahuasca, our grandmother, that big dark serpent that comes in, that serpent spirit called ayahuasca, taught us how to brew ayahuasca. So it's not a mystery. But to him it's a mystery.
Brew so precisely that it creates the mind-altering effects and the duration of the effects. Because if you take the elements individually, you don't have the same experience. You have to mix them in this precise manner. You have to make the brew in a very precise manner for it to work, for it to induce that mind-altering state, that state of altered consciousness. So, and you're right, the shamans say that it was the spirits of the jungle, the spirits of the plants themselves that taught them how to make the brew. So I do believe that when we read about pharmakeia in the Book of Enoch, for example, that we are dealing.
And here we go. Paul of Understanding Conspiracy. It's the first guy that I've actually heard talk about the Book of Enoch and the Nephilim and the clowns and all this stuff, which he's going to go into right now for some reason. But, okay, guys. Here, let me put my clown outfits for the day. Yeah, it's not a clown outfit. This is the clown outfit. There we go. Okay, guys. All right. Stop trying to say that clowns are bad. Clowns are not bad. Clowns are your friends. They're jokers. All right? This fear of clowns business, and it's all from the Book of Enoch, which is one of the books that is forbidden in the Bible. The Bible is not the Book of Enoch. You want to be a Christian, you don't read the Book of Enoch, you read the Bible, right? But these guys are saying, the Book of Enoch and the clowns and the Nephilim. Let's listen.
We are dealing precisely with mind-altering substances that are derived from plants. And let's not forget that the Vikings, the berserkers, used mind-altering psychedelics to enhance their aggression and to make them exceedingly brutal. And it induced a bloodlust in them that made them
Nahuales as well. And the werewolves also. And the witches, bingo. All right? So there's a dark side in the spirit realm that can induce you to become more animal. But it's called the way of the warrior. You learn to become an animal so you can be more human. because you're not going to go into battle without making yourself strong before you go into battle, right? But if you can embrace the inner beast and then come back and be more human, then you're a man of wisdom, a witch, a warlock. You turn lead into gold, right? You turned a simple human body to a powerful warrior, the way of the warrior. You don't have to go to war. You don't have to get yourself all hyped up to go to war and become a berserker. To be a berserker for peace, for instance. Because the beast is not in control of you, you're in control of the beast. There, in that moment, when you're the berserker, you're allowing the beast to take control to win the battle. But when you come down from the trip and all your enemies are slain, you're just a damn good warrior. And the human part of you remembers how the beast was there for you when your enemies were trying to hack you to pieces. Is that so hard to understand? Why would you rob us of the power to be great warriors? Do you want us to be sheep? Do you want us to be slaves? Or do you want us to be strong and to defend that which we feel we need to defend when we need to defend it? Do you want to give us strength or weakness?
That made them exceptional warriors. And they would be put into this frenzy before a battle, and they would oftentimes go to battle nude, and they were almost impervious to pain. They didn't fear death. They were kamikaze. The brutality was off the charts. One of the things that defines the world before the flood was the bloodlust and brutality, the murderous, sinister.
Okay, all right. So let me get this straight. I'm going to go to battle. And I do push-ups but I can't take meth to go to battle because the drug's bad, okay? The fuck? You want to go to battle, you want to go full of meth in your head,
Behavior of human beings. And I think that is directly connected, associated with psychedelics, with some of the pharmakia that they were using that was taught to them, according to the Book of Enoch, by the Watchers. And so when you combine the...
Here we go. Book of Enoch, the Watchers, the Nephilim, versus the ancestors, the spirits of your ancestors trying to help you to be a stronger, better man. Fear or love? You go into the spirit realm full of fear, you're going to find demons. You go into the spirit realm full of love, you're going to find God.
Pharmakia with the metallurgy that was taught to them. They were instructed in how to make, swords and breastplates and armor and shields and so forth. It's probably a little bit more advanced than that, I would imagine. But when you mix the pharmakia with the metallurgy and the warfare, you can start to get an understanding of how brutal and violent the antediluvian world was. As it pertains to psychedelics are very interesting. You have all kinds of psychedelics out there that are derived from plants and mushrooms and vines. Psilocybin, for example, is being used now to treat people who are terminally ill because it helps them overcome fear of death, right? And we all know that the big tech guys, Silicon Valley guys, are microdosing LSD microdosing psilocybin because it opens up their creativity, it enhances their creativity. There seems to be a mechanism in the brain, sort of a pathway, a doorway that can be activated that allows people to communicate in an altered state of consciousness with what sometimes I like to think of.
Not seems to be. See this doubtful language he uses? There is. There most certainly is.
As an internet of consciousness. We communicate through the internet via fiber optics, right? So it's a technological analogy of what I think is happening on the level of consciousness. I think there's let's call it
By the way, I love your analogy. I think it's spot on. I think you know exactly what we're talking about. An internet of consciousness available through pharmakia. Absolutely true. And something that has been known for thousands of years and forbidden by the church, specifically by the church elders, for fear of the power that it gives the people that use it. Okay? They want to take away your power, take away your strength, turn you into sheep. Are we getting this clear? Are we in the right moment in history to talk about this? Because there is a battle for your soul, all right? But it's not between Christ and the clowns. It's between the church and the shamans. Okay? And the church says, no shamans. And the shaman says, dude, you don't want to take it, don't take it, but don't tell me what the fuck to do. Because I want my power. I want to be berserker for Christ. Or for the Virgin Mary, or for Lucifer, or for whoever. But it's my right as a human being to find that power which has been given to me by the ancient spirits of the forest. It's my strength given to me by my ancestors, my elders. Call them what you want.
conscious World Wide Web, an internet of consciousness that you can plug into using psychedelics. And the problem is that human beings are at a great disadvantage in this scenario.
Whoa.
Because
Whoa. We were meant for this, brother. It is our birthright to go into the spirit realm. It is what we are built for. Human beings are not human beings until they've been into the spirit world. Human beings have not really faced their demons until they face their demons. And you don't want me to face my demons? You don't want me to be toe-to-toe with my demons and my angels? Why?
there are other non-human consciousnesses that are plugged into this internet of consciousness that are much older, much more ancient than us, much more knowledgeable, and are nefarious.
Ooh, whoa. Stop your train, brother. Nefarious? There are some badass wizards out there. I will agree. There are some badass spirits. I've met a few. But dangerous? All of them? No. I was in Mictlan. I did an ayahuasca ceremony in Oregon, in Eugene, Oregon, with some friends. And during the strongest part of the journey, I went to Mictlan, this is the realm of the dead. And I was surrounded by the spirit of the dead, by the spirits of the dead. There was just thousands, millions of them around me. Okay? And I was lost. I was lost among this huge crowd of dead spirits in Mictlan. They were mostly Aztecs, Mayans. They were pre-Hispanic looking dead zombies. Zombies, fucking zombies. I was in a fucking zombie nightmare in ayahuasca. Fear? You want to talk about fear? I was terrified because I didn't see the way out. I didn't know how to get out of there. I didn't have any clue what was going to get me out of that realm. I was there forever. In hell. In a pre-Hispanic Mayan form of hell. On top of that, right? Mictlan, land of the dead. And suddenly, as a huge, bigger than the world entity, the Virgin Mary came. And she said to me, "Rest, warrior." Boom. I was suddenly back in Eugene, Oregon. Boom. I had vanquished hell. With the help of the Virgin Mary. The one that dresses in blue and white. Not sure what. There's a lot of versions of the Virgin Mary. There's a lot of Virgin Marys. There's a lot of virgins out there. There's one particular in Spain or in Portugal. It's a European version of the Virgin Mary that it dresses in blue and white with a blue shawl, the white dress, black hair, blue eyes, or green. No, blue eyes. They were blue eyes. Her essence was very blue. That's why I like the blue. The blue is like very soothing to me. It brings me back to that energy. I dress in blue myself. And there she was, and she got me out of the darkest pit of hell I've ever. I mean, I was. These were not friendly dead spirits. They were angry. They were fucked up. They were angry spirits. There were some real bad feelings going on in there. Darkness, just pure darkness, spiritual darkness. And the Virgin Mary came to me and says, "Rest, warrior." And boom, I was in Eugene, Oregon. And I had very clear in my head that I had gone there to be shown a vision of hell, a very specific pre-Hispanic hell called Mictlan, with the Lord of Mictlan, Mictlan Techutli, and his wife. They're just big skeletons with bloody pieces of flesh coming out of them. The Virgin Mary came and pulled me out. Because I've always had this kind of like repulsion towards Christianity and Christ and all those icons of Christendom because of stuff like this. Because I go to church, I see so much blindness and so much that it just frustrates me completely to feel that people are so blind to the truth. Because they're being told, not even because they read the Bible. I read the Bible very carefully. I read the Bible minusculously. And I read the apocryphal books. I read all the books. The Book of Enoch is not a secret to me. But these people go into church and they say, "Oh, the blood of Christ," and blah, 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 blah. They bamboozle people into believing that every spiritual experience is demonic. It is exactly the opposite. It's exactly the opposite of demonic. So the spiritual experience is a spiritual experience, all right? And there's people that have experience in the spiritual realm, And there's people that don't have it because they're afraid of it. And I fart on that. When I fart, I said something stupid. Usually, when I burp, I said something stupid. So maybe you can have spiritual experiences without having to go on ayahuasca. Maybe you can meditate for 10 years, or you can, do lots of exercise. Get your oh yeah, there's a way to get spiritual experiences just by breathing. By the way, I just saw another video before this one. After this one, before I saw this one first, and I watched another video, which I'll probably talk about that video too, and then this one. Okay, let's just go back to this guy. Finish up.
And so when ignorant human beings plug into this thing via psychedelics, we become completely susceptible to manipulation by other more intelligent, more ancient entities who are plugged in. This seems to be what's going on with psychedelics. So yes, can you take
really?
psychedelics? Can you trip on psilocybin and receive information and enlightenment? Yes, but you're also completely open. You are making yourself open to manipulation of your perception. Human perception is not difficult to manipulate. And so the real danger, as far as I can tell from psychedelics, is this disadvantage that we have as human beings. We're plugging into something we don't understand, and we're opening ourselves up to manipulation. And people walk away.
By the way, I do not disagree with that. Like I said, there are dark magicians out there. There are brujos that want to get for themselves and forget about helping others. And they can have a whole little slave army of devotees that are working for them because they got manipulated by the brujo. Yes, I've seen that happen. I've seen that. But you don't need psychedelics to do that. Just a good slippery tongue, Get people hyped up about Jesus. And they'll have a little army of stupid assholes that go burn black people and hang them from a tree.
Having downloaded something, and that something, whatever it may be, whatever kind of experience they have, obviously people have bad experiences, bad trips, which can damage them for life and cause all kinds of problems. I mean, there's people who take psychedelics who walk away with schizophrenia.
I have schizophrenia in my family, and I can guarantee you that it is based on the communication with spirits that is bad to control. My grandmother where is this thing even? Is it taping? It is. Okay, sorry. I had a phone call. My Dungeons and Dragons game is going to start right now, and I totally forgot about it. So I'm going to make this short. I mean, you can watch the rest of the video if you want. I'm not going to go through the whole video. I think I've look, man. The spiritual path is about one or two things: love or hate. Okay, there's no other way. There's the darkness in the human spirit. There's light in the human spirit. The devil and God live inside of you always, and both of them are wanting to get fed. And the devil is going to be fed by hatred, anger, anxiety, violence, and God is going to be fed by strength, power, love, forgiveness, humility. And you got to make a decision as you go through life to feed one of these two entities in your heart. Now, as a shaman, as a practitioner of the spiritual arts, of spiritual invocation, you're going to be painfully aware of that fact every time you go into the nether realm, into the DMT realm, let's call it. You go into the DMT realm, you go into the psilocybin realm, you go into the netherworld, you're going to be facing demons and angels. You're going to be facing both of them. And the demons are going to try to fuck you up, and the angels are going to help you. And you got to be able to recognize them because that's your job. That's what you're there for. You're there to recognize what demons have been affecting negatively your spirit. And all of those demons are going to be your friends. Because in the spirit realm, there are no enemies. There's just energy. And what you're saying, what you're thinking becomes reality. You go into the realm of ayahuasca and you go to Mictlan, well, you're full of death and darkness and suffering. And you got to deal with it. And sometimes you got to call on whoever comes to help you. And in my case was the Virgin Mary. Now, the Virgin Mary didn't say, oh, don't do ayahuasca. She just said, rest, warrior. Because maybe I was doing too much ayahuasca. I had to take a break. But when you go around demonizing the spiritual work of other people, one, you're not following the Bible and the spiritual teachings of Jesus. Because Jesus says, go out there and heal people. Don't go out there and, cast demons. You can cast demons if you want. But don't go demonize people that are trying to cast demons. That's your job. Your job is to cast demons. Recognize them. Cast them out. So this guy goes in with his high-flying Christian evangelist mindset into a totally different realm, irrespectful of the people, irrespective of the customs, irrespective of their leaders and their shamans, to try to demonize the shamans when the guy that is acting like a demon is him. Enough said. That's my response to the video. I'll send it to you guys. Let me know what you think. I'm not judging you, man. You're doing what you think is right. You're probably doing it from your highest point of knowledge and consciousness, but you're fucking up. You're fucking it up. You're doing it wrong. Fix it. You want to be holy with the Holy Spirit and Christ and everything? Don't demonize shamans. Get over yourself. Let us do our work. All right? Peace out.